Land back.
Land back. How you doing, Chief Oju?
Doing all right, Sergeant Bear. It is a decent enough day, temperature-wise, because we know climate change be making the weather all kinds of crazy all over the planet.
Facts.
Land back, everyone. How you doing this morning, Sergeant Bear?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's pretty sunny. It was nice yesterday as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, Felix. Land back. I saw LA. Good morning, SG. Hi.
Good morning, SG.
Land back, Charlotte.
Land back, SG.
Land back,
Chief I.
Oh, well, there's some Reparations Corps recruits in there. Land back A.
Land back, Chief Petunia.
Yes, as you're coming in, making sure you are liking, sharing to your own timeline, to your own feeds, to your own Twitters. And then also commenting, this is the time to really get in there, engaged and up in this live, because that's how people start seeing it.
Exactly, right? Engage.
I saw Landback Chief Ade, Landback Vibora, Petunia. Oh, love the fit.
Love the outfit, yeah.
I got this at the maybe how long ago? Probably 5 years ago now. And I haven't broke it out in a while. And it's mad comfortable, y'all. It's mad comfortable. Our people make comfortable clothes, not tight form European skinny jeans. Land back for Chief. Hey, land back for Chief Federico.
Oh yeah, land back.
Happy birthday.
Revolutionary birthday.
All these cans is up in the organization.
Yeah. Euro skinny jeans.
Yes, those had to be designed by a colonizer, because I don't know why they could be making clothes so tight up in the what region.
Land back, Chief Huey.
Land back, Chief Huey. Welcome. Hey, land back, camera free.
Land back.
See you up in the book trap and Hiba.
Land back, Hiba.
Hey. Oh, welcome everybody again. Don't forget to like, share. How many groups do you think you can share to? How many times can you share this, everybody? I want to give y'all a challenge. Share to each of you. Share to 20 groups, 20 places. All right, share this live right now. 20 sound like a decent number, Bear?
Yeah. That's a decent number.
Yeah. Even Bear sounded a little dissatisfied. Like, that's decent. That's decent. Look at land back, Black guy, yo, you up in here. Yeah, it's decent, but we could push it to more. But let's start with 20. Let's start with 20 for now. Yes, lay it back. So, yes, we can introduce ourselves. My name is Chief Oju. I am representing the nations of Africa and Bodiken, otherwise known as Puerto Rico, in its colonial name. And I use he, him pronouns, and I am the chief of curriculum at Black Hammer. And my lovely co-host.
I am Sergeant Bear, and I represent the nation of Mexico, and my pronouns are he, him, and I am the Sergeant of Cyber Recruitment and the Chief of Minnesota Chapter.
Hey, doing all the things. See, Sergeant Bear is all about bringing the people up into the organization. I know I said it last week. Land back, Denver Black Educators Caucus. Okay, welcome to the Revolutionary. Yes. Share this content 10 times. I know that's the new warning that's coming up on Insta. This colonial state's coming hard now, right? They be saying you've been exposed to extremist content. That's savvy. Welcome everyone. Landback Dre. I saw Dre up in here too. Landback Valerie. All these wonderful people up on a Sunday morning on this day, which is one of the worst days ever in history of humankind. July 4th, which is the marking of the quote unquote independence, which is the marking of the separation of one set of colonizers from another set of colonizers to establish a nation on stolen land. And that is what today is. It is the 4th of July. And yes, and so look at all these wonderful colonized people and colonizers this, committing national suicide up in here from the Reparations Corps, coming in to say, you know what, how I'm going to spend my morning on this day is learning how to get closer to the revolution. What I'm going to spend this day doing is learning more about indigenous people and learning more about indigenous ancestry and history, because that's what we're doing today, right? Sergeant Bear, what's the book that we are reading?
We're reading Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. And I think the read that backs that, we picked today are going to like also recognize and show the true history and the brutal history of, the founding of this illegitimate colonial state and the separation. Yeah, exactly. The separation from one class of colonizers from another. And
yeah, exactly. It was like, independence from what? I'm like, white people getting independence from other white people, and in a place where the white people aren't from. I don't know how that's independence. Like, what? Excuse me. And yes, I'm seeing a happy 4th of the lie, right? 4th of the lie, 4th of the you colonizers lie. Yes, on this 4th of the lie, we are not going to recognize that that colonizer conflict that happened between them while they murdered millions and millions of indigenous people just to achieve that lie, right? And so, yes, keep on sharing this live, keep on sharing this book chat. We want to make sure our people get this political education, especially on this day, right? So if you usually with your family at that barbecue, you know what? Share them this live so that they can watch this before the barbecue. We know our colonized people, they don't get a lot of time to spend with each other because of how much work they got to do in the colony and the plantation. So a lot of times colonized people just use this time to come together. And you know what? At least give your families, give your people some political education so they understand why this is a day they're coming together. All right. So yes, like really make sure that you are showing indigenous people unity with indigenous people on this day by making sure that people are seeing this history laid out to them. All right. So yeah, everyone's in the house. Yes.
Yeah. Let's see hashtag for the 4th of the lie.
Hashtag 4th of the lie. Yeah, let's get that in there. Let's get that trended today because we got to every day our people got to come together to do this political education, right? And today is a big day for that political education. But hashtag 4th of the lie.
Hashtag 4th of the lie. Yes.
Because we don't want this colonizer nation trending for any reason besides its lies. That's the only reason it should be trending, is for its lies and for its
deception.
Yes. So okay. So, as people are realizing it's the 4th of the lie, we want to make sure that as the colonizer tries to build the propaganda to keep this illegal nation going, we are going to build Hammer City. What we're going to do instead, right? We're going to build Hammer City as colonized poor working class people, because we realize that the only way to truly undo and overturn this system of colonialism that has stolen this land, continues to steal this land. It's not a process that's ended. It's a process that still continues. That we need to take care of our people and make sure we have a base of power to do this work, right? And so Hammer City is a place where there's going to be no cops, no rent, no coronavirus, and no white people, right? Yes, that's what Hammer City is going to be. And this is about making sure that this land is under the stewardship of the indigenous people of this land, right? And colonized unity is what's going to make that happen. And so, yes, donate to Hammer City. It's Cash App, Venmo, hashtag Build Hammer City, at Build Hammer City, or you can go to buildhammercity.org. Yes, are you excited about Hammer City, Sergeant Bear?
I am excited about Hammer City, and I think it's interesting because in the book we see throughout like what happens when the indigenous people are moved from the land, and then there's people starving, there's buffalo, there's no game, and And that's just what happens when, the original people from the specific land are moved out, because they take care of it. They take care of it, right? And there's a connection to the land. And when there's no connection or care, then we get things like climate change and like the ocean on fire. But in Hammer City, y'all best believe we're going to be taking care of the land, right? Because it's an extension of ourselves, right? And we got to take care of the land, and we're going to be taking care of the land at Hammer City. But
yeah, exactly. Though this land, Chief Ade laid it out so beautiful yesterday in that that discussion on Asian and African solidarity and unity, is that yes, this like the land wants us back too. As much as we are saying land back, the land wants us back there. It's like crying for us. It's asking for us to come and take care of it again. The ocean's on fire. That looks like a straight out of a CGI movie. When I first saw it, I thought it was a clip from some like disaster film. And then no, it's reality. It's the reality of colonialism, reality of climate change, and everyone is starting to really donate and to let us know that you all want to build this city to make sure that we can overturn these things and make sure that our land gets back to us and that we can get back to that land. Yep. So yes, let's recognize some donations. We had 5 from Ama. Thank you. We had 25 reparations from Reset. 10 in from QAnon Smash White Power reparations. Let's see. We also got 15 reparations from Precipice, 50 reparations from A, 25 reparations from Executive, 25 from Sarcophagus. Let's see. We got Yabe got 5. T got 28. Thank you for T. Pledge your team. You can also pledge, y'all. So if you cannot donate today, you can pledge to donate later, and someone from our economic development committee will follow up with you to check in and like say, hey, like, what are you able to do? Maybe they need to make a payment plan to figure out how often you can pay. Don't worry, economic development office will get you on that. Let's see, we got 40 reparations from Airplane, Land Back, 15 from Chief I, and $10 from Dial. Hey, awesome. What's our goal today, Sergeant Bear? Because people are already on their way there, but what's our goal today?
Our goal is $800.
$800, y'all. Because you know why? The book trap be pulling it in. Y'all, I guess what gets you all going is the reading. Because see, we some intellectual hammers, right? We clearly it's the reading, it's the history that gets us going, it gets us revved up to like really overturn this. Like it's when we see this history that we're ready to fight, because we're seeing what our people go through, we're seeing what we go through, and we're like, I gotta overturn this right now. Dre got $4, Land Back.
Yeah, exactly what Chief Scene said, we gotta recognize this is a genocidal holiday. We gotta, Reverend Court, show up, yo.
Yes, if there's any day for reparations, it is the 4th of July. If there's any day for reparations, it is the 4th of July, because this is the day that Indigenous people have to literally sit and see just how much people are willing to celebrate their own death and celebrate their own genocide. Like that's what Indigenous people have to go through today. That's what we have to go through today as Indigenous people. Mm-hmm. And so you have to show out for that. You have to show out for the people who are trying to resist every day to make sure that they have clean water on their own land, that they can drive around on their own land. And yes, I got emotional for a second. I turned inward. Oh, no. Yeah, because it's just that's what this day is. It's just another day, just like the genocidal holiday of Thanksgiving. It's just another day for Indigenous people to see how much of their lives and land are in their hands and are under their own control. Exactly. And that's what Hammer City is about, right? That's what Black Hammer is about. We're getting our land back and getting our power back. We're getting it back under our control, under our own dictatorship. Not because it's what we deserve, because that's what history dictates. That's what the earth dictates. Yes. They're going to be out here getting those reparations all day, as they should be. as they should be. And I'm gonna highlight. Let's see. Oh, if you a colonizer, get excited about paying reparations before you go to your cookout. Yeah, exactly. Like going to all these barbecues and for what? And for what? And for what? I want to highlight Sante's comment real quick as well. Colonizers owe everything to us as colonized people. Ain't no option for you to skimp out on giving back to the people you stole from. Nah, there's no
literally.
Yeah, literally. Ooh, all right. So let's begin getting into this book by getting into our book trap trivia. Book trap trivia. Sergeant Bear, I want you to read the question.
All right. What was the family name of the half-indigenous brothers who were renounced their white blood after Sand Creek? A. Bent Brothers, B. Porter Brothers, C. Hill Brothers, or D. the Cole Brothers?
Right? So, why are you laughing, Sergeant Bear?
Because the names are funny. The Cole Brothers.
Right? It's just crazy that like all these names that they had to put on us after they colonized us, right? You know, that's the thing about having colonizer blood in you, end up with colonizer names. Goodness gracious. So yes, everyone, put into the comments what is the family name of these people. Who are they? Do not copy each other. If you just see the don't assume it's right. It's happened before. Sometimes someone's led someone down the wrong path and everyone had to pay up. So who is it? Let's see, y'all done the reading. And it looks like a lot of people have done the reading.
Okay. I win.
Let's see. No copying. No copying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of A's here. There's so much confidence in that A.
Yeah, that A. Stop looking over your comrade's shoulder. Read the book.
Yeah. Virtually looking over everyone's shoulders, y'all. And just remember that if you get it right, you still have to pay up.
Yep, exactly.
If everyone gets it right, then everyone has to pay up. All right. Let's see. What is the right answer? The right answer is
the Bent Brothers. It is A.
Yes,
good on y'all.
It's the Bent Brothers, y'all. Yes, since you did your reading, it looks like, which I am very, very glad that you did. If you did your reading, yes, you would see that it was the three Bent brothers who were half indigenous, who, yes, after the Sand Creek massacre, said, "F the colonizer blood in me. I don't unite with that. Like, I'm indigenous. I'm indigenous," is what they said. So there, everyone got it right. And my Chief Maya's like, "I win."
I saw that.
But if you ain't answer or you didn't get it right, $10. Yeah, let's say I don't know because you didn't do the reading or you just didn't know. Like, let's see some donation, $10, right?
And let's keep sharing too. Let's keep sharing. It's already been like 20 minutes. Come on now. We can do another 20 shares.
Yes, we definitely need more shares in this. Share on YouTube, share on Facebook, share on Twitter, right? Get that link out there. Let people know about the 4th of July. Let's get that trend. People are gonna be waking up like, I gotta like the barbecue. 4th of July. That's gonna be the first thing they see on their phone. So let's keep on sharing. Keep on sharing, y'all.
4th of July, yes. I love that.
So let's start getting into our read that backs. And as we're getting our read that backs ready, make sure that you get your read that backs ready. You don't have to drop them in the comments yet, just because sometimes when a lot of people put a lot of read that backs, we get so many read that backs at once that sometimes we aren't able to share them with y'all because there's just too many.
It's flooded.
It's flooded and it disappears. And so just make sure you get your read that backs ready to put into the comments and soon. All right. But let's get into our read that backs.
Yes.
So our first read that back is from you, Sergeant Bear, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I picked this read that back, Oju, because I think it demonstrates some interesting, brutal things. But yes, I'm gonna go ahead and start reading. And it goes, I saw the American flag waving and heard Black Kettle tell the Indians to stand around the flag, and they were huddled men, women, and children. This was when we were within 50 yards of the Indians. I also saw a white flag raised. These flags were in, and just, oh, I'm self-critical, just for some, just a preface. So Black Kettle was given the American flag to wave, and it's sort of like, you know, protection, right? So if they had that posted up, they're not going to get messed with, or that's what they were promised, right? And so as we're reading, you know, they saw the flag, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. This was when we were within 50 yards of the Indians. I also saw a white flag raised. These flags were in so conspicuous a position that they must have been seen. When the troops fired, the Indians ran, some of the men into their lodges, probably to get their arms. I think there were 600 Indians in all. I think there were 35 braves and some old men, about 60 in all. The rest of them, the rest of the men were away from camp hunting. After the firing, the warriors put the squaws and children together. And squaws refer to indigenous women, and surrounded them to protect them. I saw 5 squaws under a blanket for shelter. When the troops came up to them, they ran out and showed their persons to let the soldiers know they were squaws and begged for mercy. But the soldiers shot them all. I saw one squaw lying on the bank whose leg had been broken by a shell. A soldier came up to her with a drawn saber. She raised her arm to protect herself when he struck, breaking her arm. She rolled over and raised her other arm when he struck, breaking it, and then left her without killing her. There seemed to be indiscriminate slaughter of men, women, and children. There were some 30 or 40 squaws collected in a hole for protection. They sent out a little girl about 6 years old with the white flag on a stick. She had not proceeded but a few steps when she was shot and killed. All the squaws in that hole were afterwards killed, and 4 or 5 bucks outside. The squaws offered no resistance. Every one I saw dead was scalped. I saw one squaw cut open with an unborn child, as I thought, lying by her side. Captain Soule afterwards told me that such was the fact. I saw the body of white antelope with private parts cut off, and I heard a soldier saying he was going to make a tobacco pouch out of them. I saw one squaw whose had been cut out, and I saw a little girl about 5 years of age who had been hid in the sand. 2 soldiers discovered her, drew their pistols out, and shot her, and then pulled her out of the sand by the arm. I saw quite a number of infants in arms killed with their mothers. In a public speech made in Denver not long before the massacre, Colonel Shivington advocated the killing and scalping of all Indians, even infants. Nits make lice, he declared. Robert Bent's description of the soldiers' atrocities was corroborated by Lieutenant James Connor. In going over the battleground the next day, I did not see a body of a man, woman, or child, but was scalped. And in many instances, their bodies were mutilated in the most horrible manner. I just stopped it there because it just keeps going on and on and on. But yeah, I picked this, read that back, because it recognizes and it sort of probes the truth, and it shows what happens, and how, you know, what really led to the 4th of July, you know, and this is the history of, you know, colonizers. And it also is an example of the lack of humanity, and what happens through the process of colonization, right? Through that process, colonizers lose their humanity, right? And in this moment, not just this specific moment, but we see this not only here on Turtle Island, but Africa, Asia, Pachamama, everywhere. Like, we see things like this is such a common thing, right? And it shows a lack of humanity, right? And it's disgusting, and it's savage, and it's brutal, and it's really disgusting, and it's terrible. So that's why I picked it, Chief Oju. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, actually, I was going to say exactly what Seem's saying. Like, this is what all of these colonial nations are founded on. Every single nation that has been founded by colonizers on stolen land has only been founded through such violence. There's no way that a nation could be formed by colonizers without this kind of violence. And of course, this is brutal. Of course, this is disgusting. This is like, and of course, this is hard. It's hard to hear because it's something that we also know. But it's important to highlight that, especially for a day like today, because people are going to celebrate today without even thinking about what this nation was founded on. And they have the propaganda out. They have us trying to convince us that that somehow this nation is stronger than ever. And what does this nation's strength mean? It doesn't mean that people are actually united in humanity. No, what it means to have a strong America, to have a strong United Snakes, that means that you have a United Snakes that is most violent, as most brutal. That's the only way it can be strong. And that's how they measure themselves. That's how they measure their strength. That's how they measure their humanity, however they see that humanity. It was hard. It was hard for me to read this too. And the thing is, what it also showed me is that it reminded me, for instance, of what the French did in Vietnam, what the white Americans did, up in Vietnam as well. It's just that it repeats itself all over the time, right? All over time, it will repeat itself. And what we have to repeat, what we have to do over and over again are those modes of resistance. Is that mode of fighting back, which is the next read that back from us is going to highlight that, right? We don't just Black Hammer, we don't just show you the bad without showing you the resistance, right? So our next read back is going to do that. But we have to remember that violence is what this nation's founded on. And it's only encountering that violence. Will we be able to overturn colonialism, be able to overturn this system that doesn't care about babies, y'all. At every level they are going to murder us. And we have to understand it. We have to realize that we have to be aware of that reality. We can't be naive and thinking they don't want to hurt certain segments of us, or that certain segments of us are off limits. No colonized person is off limits in colonialism. We are all impacted by colonialism. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we'll be able to get rid of that fear that maybe it won't be me. Maybe it won't be me. It can't be you as a colonized person because you just colonize. And so, yeah, there's no room for liberalism there. Exactly. There's no room for liberalism there. No more guessing games. And that was something that was really also hard to read with this, was seeing Black Kettle and how much they trusted the white, Sergeant Bear, right? That's true, right? How much Black Kettle was trusting them.
Yeah, told the village and the other members oh no, it's all good, and they told him oh yo, there's a bunch of soldiers coming, we should leave. And he was just no, it's all good, we got the flag. And I believe he was given a medal too, or someone else was given a medal to for protection, but that later didn't even do anything. But yeah, and then they just killed them all. And then he was singing that that one thing when he died, or when he was murdered. But yeah, it's just deception, just straight up, it was just a lie. And that's their tactic, right? That's the tactic.
And we have to make sure we're aware of those neo-colonial sellouts, kind of like Black Kettle, who lead us into these situations, y'all. It wasn't that everyone trusted the white man and went to Sand, and let them come into Sand Creek. What happened was that there were sellouts among the nation, among the colonized nation, that said, no, yeah, they're okay, just listen. We have to be aware of those, y'all. We cannot let them lead us to our death. They are clearly not just naive enough, but see somehow an interest. They somehow see that their interests might align with the interests of that colonizer somehow. They see that somehow. And we have to be aware of those people in our communities, because we cannot let them lead us to these massacres. We cannot. And those medals, those papers, those trees, they're all just symbols. They're all just symbols that the colonizer comes up with that they can walk back on. It doesn't do anything material exactly. There's just ideas. Whew, yeah. And land back at Sergeant Bear, is there like also like I think something that I noticed too is how in the Sand Creek especially you see how many warriors were born out of this massacre, right?
Exactly.
So many people came out of Sand Creek ready to unite with each other and fight the colonizer. They realized that there was no other direction, no other way to go, and that's one thing that I wish our colonies people didn't have to go through. I wish our colonies people didn't have to go through such violence to unite with their own leadership, and that's why it's the responsibility of us Hammers, of us to have our people realize their own leadership, so they don't have to go through more trauma and more violence to realize that it's them who needs to take the action. It's our responsibility to let them know that before they have to go through more. And the more people we can let people know, the more people we can let know that they are the leadership, the more we let colonized poor working class people know that they're the leadership, the sooner we'll be able to plan and organize before further violence happens. This is the reason for that. Like, let us not be warriors only born out of violence. Let us be warriors born out of political education. Let us be warriors born out of service to the people. Let us be warriors born out of love and life. Let that define what becomes a warrior. And of course, warriors will always be born out of violence, but that can't be all of us because we need as many warriors as possible.
Exactly. So y'all can do that by joining Black Hammer, and uniting with the 4 principles of unity that state that. So, join Black Hammer right here, blackhammer.org/join, fall under your own leadership, fall under African, Indigenous, and Asian leadership,
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant. Mm-hmm. It's waiting for you. There's a day the day to join. It is today in the 4th of July. All right, land back. So you could start dropping your audience, read that back. So I know I said hold on a little bit just in case they'll get but y'all can be dropping them. Y'all can be dropping your audience, read that backs, and let us know like what were parts of this reading that stuck out to you. I'll read that back for people who are new watching. Is a quote from the book that you united with, that you have questions about, that you wanted to discuss further. You wanted it read back. Read that back because it said something to you, right? So yes, drop in your read that backs in the comments, and we'll be making sure to address any questions y'all got about this book. Let's see. Oh, we got one from Chief Maya. We could put that on. It gets cut off, but it's on page 70 of the PDF. So it says, Bull Bear, a leader of the Dog Soldiers, said that he and his brother Lean Bear had tried to live in peace with white men, but that soldiers had come without cause or reason and killed Lean Bear. The Indians are not to blame for the fighting, he added. The white men are foxes and peace cannot be brought about with them. The only thing the Indians can do is fight. Little Raven of the Rapahoes agreed with Bull Bear. I would like to shake hands with the white man, he said, but I gotta find it on the PDF. But that but is gotta mean plenty, right? the but is always gonna be a but because one thing. But I know, right? It's like I don't even need to know the rest for a second.
Wait, they shoot me while I walk up to them, trying to make peace.
Yeah, like thank you. Okay, yep. But I'm afraid they did not want peace with us. One eye asked to speak then and said he was ashamed to hear such talk. Oh, okay, I'll leave it. I'll end it right there. He was ashamed to hear such talk. Yes, Chief Maya, right? People, these people here are saying how the white men are foxes. That it cannot be peace can't be brought. They cannot be trusted. Who said that? Malcolm X even said
exactly.
Hey,
I was going to say that exactly.
and you know he the way he laid out foxes and wolves, right? You can't trust foxes or wolves. Wolves will be blunt. Those are the blunt colonizers who let you know exactly who they are, let you know everything. Let you know everything they're about to do to you, and they don't care. But a fox, which is like a liberal, a white leftist, you know, those white people you think might be nice, right? No, they're foxes, and peace can't be brought about with them. And what's the only thing that the indigenous person can do there? What they
fight back. Yep.
Fight back.
Thing you can do is fight. Exactly.
The only thing you can do is fight. If you're more worried about creating unity with white leftists than you are about resisting your colonization, then that means you need some major political education. And you know what? It might mean that you might just get a sellout that's left behind.
Maybe not even like just a few pages of this book. I mean, what we read, like it demonstrates what trust really looks like to colonizers, right? What trust looks like to them and having that relationship with, you know, indigenous people, right? There is no trust. It's just deception, really. It literally is like the tactic that you're doing. They're just like, oh, let's tell them this, and then let's not do that. And then let's ask for more. There was another nice quote that I was thinking of making my read that back, but it was like someone saying like the white man always like asks and we always give him everything, but this time, you know, we gotta get something back. You know, we can't be just giving and giving and giving, you know. And yeah, like they're foxes. And like, yeah, the trust it's very one-sided and it's very coercive. But yes.
Yeah, no.
There's a couple more. Read that back.
Let's do Maisha's real quick. I think this is that quote from Black Kettle. You want to read this one, Dave?
Yeah. So although wrongs have been done to me, I live in hopes. I have not got two hearts. Now we are going again to make peace. My shame is as big as the earth. Although I will do what my friends advise me to do, I once thought that I was the only man that preserved to be the friend of the white man. But since they have come and cleaned out our lodges, horses, and everything else, it is hard for me to believe white men anymore. Yes, the lesson is, you know, learned, you know, after, again, you know, being just taken advantage of, like the trust should not be there. And just also like they're pushing us out of our lands. You know, this is a huge red flag, you know, pushing us away from, you know, our natural habitat, you know, away from our game, the buffalo, you know, our food and so on. But Chief OG, what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, that realization again that the colonizer isn't there for your material interests. Like no colonizer, no matter what type of colonizer they are, they're not there for your material interest. They're there for their own material interest. And so sadly enough, for someone like Black Kettle, they only realize that after their entire resources have been stolen and wiped out. And that's when they realize it, and then they still have a hesitancy. It's like, oh, I think it's now that I start to realize, you know, it's hard for me to believe any white man anymore. It's almost like, oops. It's very casual that way. And yeah, we have to realize that they're not for our material interest; they're for their own. They're here to steal and loot. They did not come over to Turtle Island for a visit. They didn't come to for a travel booking. It was to steal and loot and pillage. That's the reason they came. And the quicker you realize that, the less likely you're going to make the mistake of uniting with colonizers and trying to bring them into your life and bring them into your life to take away your resources. And if you are white, yes, you better be paying reparations.
Yes. We should pull up Chief Amalicha's read that back, because this was going to be one of mine as well, and it just shows the mentality of, you know, what they're thinking. You want to read that, Chief OG?
Yeah. Chivington became violently angry at them and brought his fist down close to Lieutenant Kramer's face. "Damn any man who sympathizes with Indians," he cried. "I have come to kill Indians and believe it is right and honorable to use any means under God's heaven to kill Indians." Yes, John Malik was saying this quote shows how colonizers have always used religion to unleash violence against colonized people. But one thing colonized people have done through religion and spirituality is connect with their I'm gonna find the rest of what you were saying. Is fine. Is let's see. I'm gonna pull it up. Have done through religion, spirituality is connect with their people in the land for thousands of years. I found it. Don't worry, I found it, girl. Yeah, exactly. They're trying to use their own colonizer spirituality to somehow justify again further colonization, and not just colonization, just straight up murder. They're saying God's telling me to murder. Like that's some messed up. That's some religious. That's a messed up religious thinking.
Interpretations, yeah,
interpretations, right? So colonizers always use their own culture, religion, whatever to justify this colonization somehow, right? Or to absolve themselves of it somehow, right? But we have to realize that anyone from Europe is a colonizer, and that anyone from Europe is going to use that status of being a European to steal resources, and that as time goes on, maybe who's considered a colonizer broadens, right? But it doesn't change that colonizers still steal, and still loot, and still murder, and still pillage. Yes, yeah, no, that is a good one. What do you want to say, Sergeant Bear, about that one, since you were going to use it too?
Yeah, like it's just used to like further their propaganda, to really strengthen that and put that into the mentality of people. And yeah, like feudalism stemmed from that, like this idea that the king was divine and that they had the right to, have all the bread and all the land and things like that, right? And then later, the product of that was like capitalism, and we still see that today with people idealizing like Elon Musk or like people like that, or that are like, oh, like they're just so brilliant and like they're gifted and things like that, when in reality it is the material conditions that shape the people, right? It is the material conditions that shape our ideas and so on, the environments that we are in. And as we know, Elon Musk comes from South Africa, and like where the history regarding that. So like it's very clear that that it's just pushed to like it's just a product of that idea of like like relationship with God and like being special, like an individual, right? Rather than recognizing the relationship and the material conditions. But yes, that's what I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, no, yeah, full unity with that, Sergeant Bear. Elongated muskrat. All right, we're gonna move to our next Read That Back, which is kind of a way to lift us out of the violence that we saw in that first Read That Back, everybody. So this one's on page 92 of the book, and I believe on the PDF it's let's see, on the PDF this one is going to be on page 81 and 82. So it reads, it was now January, the moon of strong cold, when Plains Indians traditionally kept fires blazing in their lodges, told stories through the long evenings, and slept late in the mornings. But this was a bad time, and as news of the Sand Creek massacre spread across the plains, the Cheyennes, Arapahoes, and Sioux sent runners back and forth with messages calling for a war of revenge against the murdering white men. By the time Yellow Woman and the young Bent brothers reached their relatives on the Republican River, the Cheyennes were supported by thousands of sympathetic allies: Spotted Tails, Brule Sioux, Pawnee Killers, Oglala Sioux, and large bands of Northern Arapahoes, Cheyenne Dog Soldiers, now led by Tall Bull, who had refused to go to Sand Creek, were there, and also Roman Nose and his following of young warriors. While the Cheyennes mourned their dead, the leaders of the tribes smoked war pipes and planned their strategy. In a few hours of madness at Sand Creek, Chivington and his soldiers destroyed the lives or the power of every Cheyenne and Arapaho chief who had held out for peace with the white men. After the flight of the survivors, the Indians rejected Black Kettle and Left Hand and turned to their war leaders to save them from extermination. And that picture was a picture of George Bent, one of the half-indigenous brothers, and his wife Magpie. The English translated names are something else. Yes, I chose to read that back because you see how once they went through this massive mass murder, mass trauma, mass violence, that's when they realized we have to unite with our own colonized leadership. They're like, okay, we reject you, Black Kettle. We reject you, Left Hand. You led us to the white man. You led us toward the white man, and that led us to our death. That led us to our massacre. And afterwards, you saw that unity of all those different nations within Turtle Island coming together. And this is all happening in the area that's now Colorado, y'all, just as a context. And these meetings are happening in Denver, just to get some context of where everything's happening. That all these colonized people coming together and saying, you know what, we have to realize our own leadership, because it's only our own leadership that's going to save us from extermination. That's what this Read That Back literally says. It says, we reject you, neocolonial sellouts. We want our true leaders to tell us, what do we have to do in order to stop being killed? And that you saw the power in that. The power wasn't just realizing that the white man is not the way to go, but the power was also that all these nations within Turtle Island can come together and plan a way to stop the white man from killing them further. That's what that Read That Back was, and it was so inspiring to see that after the Sand Creek massacre that they could pull themselves together to fight that way. And we see that now with Standing Rock. You know how many indigenous people from all over Turtle Island and Pachamama came to Standing Rock to protect the land, to protect the people. It's something that's it's an old way of us being. Colonized unity is an old way for us to exist in this world. We've always have had colonized unity. It's just been interrupted and disrupted by colonialism, by colonizers. And this Read That Back just shows an example of us coming together despite all odds, and despite anything that we go through. So yeah. You get that feeling, Sergeant Bear, from that?
Yes, I do. And you explained it very beautifully and expanded on it. And yeah, I think I was also thinking how Black Kettle symbolized just being a sellout, and then then realizing we gotta we're gonna die if we keep trying to make peace. We can't do that tactic anymore. We gotta fall under the leadership of our war leaders, right, that are fighting for us, are realizing that we can't be trusting them, and that the way is to only fight. The only thing left for the Indians is to fight. That's what's said, right? And so it just really shows that they're transitioning and falling under colonized leadership, right? And Black Kettle was also colonized, but he was basically falling under white and colonizer leadership, right? By playing their game, trying to make these treaties, trying to follow, and trusting them, and so, I think it's very powerful to see that, them strategize and to, get ready. But
one of the leaders that really was helping them strategize, not just after Sand Creek, but in general at that time, was Sitting Bull. You see in chapter 5. Sitting Bull was like, I don't trust no white man. Hardcore from day one was like, I don't know what y'all doing. They ain't for us, so we got to get our stuff together. And one way I love how they came together to fight against colonizers was they were following blue coats. So if you're seeing blue coats and gray coats in here, you don't know what that means. That's from Civil War talk. So that's blue coats is the Union and gray coats is the Confederacy or whatever. And the Sitting Bull had a whole crew of indigenous people following the blue coats, following the Union soldiers, following them everywhere that they went, so that scaring them the whole way, God, they're following us. Why they keep to scare them to the point that they wouldn't come back, right? They're like, yeah, like, don't come back here. We're just keep on. And they just kept following. They just literally like got them away just by scaring them. I thought that was so hilarious because it just shows how lame I love how sometimes they're Union soldiers because it shows how lame the liberal side that the liberal side is like, okay, I guess we won't go back there. They're just like they're just following us on horses, y'all. And it's just colonized people are so brilliant and strategic, and like seeing us unite together against the colonizer is something that we have so many examples of it. And we don't want that colonizer flag. We want that Hammer City flag. Like to see us establish who we are on our own land means so much, and to establish our own leadership on our own land. And that's what this read that back, I think, really in the end gets to, is like seeing your own leadership on your own land. Like, you're capable of that. You can do that. That can be you. You can be Sitting Bull. And all you have to do is unite to your own leadership, and you unite against colonialism, just as he did, just as all of our colonized leaders and heroes have done. So yeah, land back. I'm sorry, I get emotionally overwhelmed sometimes by this, and I'm trying to pull myself together. All right, so as much as we can look back at this history, we have to look at the present and see what Black Hammer is doing to make sure that we are creating a world where no one lives at the expense of another. So we're going to do our fundraising call again. We are going to ask y'all for some more donations to help build Hammer City.
Oh, Chief Amelie just said, if you spent money on fireworks, send the same amount to Hammer City. Facts.
For real, yeah. I don't know who's buying fireworks. They illegal, right? In some places. I always thought that was the funniest law, because I'm like, this whole holiday is literally about fireworks, yet they kept saying it's illegal. I'm confused. That's actually real quick anecdote. While people donate to Hammer City, yes, donate $11 more in reparations. Yes, keep on paying those reparations. Keep on paying those reparations. Keep on paying those reparations for today. And as people donate and give reparations, my first encounter with the pigs in my life when I was a little kid was on the 4th of July, and it was. I was in my regular neighborhood, and I was with my family, and we lived not too far from like the pig station, right? And the neighborhood was still mostly colonized, was gentrifying, was starting to gentrify. And I remember my cousin doing fireworks like in the middle of the street, and some pigs came and said, "Oh, you can't do that." And they took all the fireworks that my cousin had, and they just took them and put them in the pig car or whatever. And I remember my aunt like cussing them out like big time. Like, it was just like, and I was like maybe like 4, right? And I was like watching this happen, and I was angry too, because I'm like, I kept hearing fireworks everywhere, but I couldn't understand why my cousin couldn't do it, right? And it had to be, but because his neighborhood was gentrifying, some colonizers were calling to complain, because on our block was starting to be more white people, and like I just knew the pig was wrong. And I knew it was unfair, and I knew my aunt was cussing and I didn't like that my aunt was angry, and I was like, this isn't right. This isn't right. And so, 4th of July was my first encounter with the pigs, first encounter with what America really meant. And I want Hammer City because we can Hammer City, we can do fireworks. We can use the resources from the land to do whatever we want to do with that land. We can determine how we live on that land without any white person or colonizer telling us what to do or how to do it, right? Yeah, it's $150 in reparations from A. Thank you. I've seen some other reparations in there as well. 25 from Airplane, 10 from Precipice, 25 from Executive, 25 more from Reset. Yeah, it's land back. So Yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comments, like how is the 4th of July? Let you know what America's really about. And when you do that, drop in what your donation is at the same time. Like we said, our goal is $800 for this fundraising today. We want to break it. Like we made $1,000 last week, y'all.
Yeah.
We made $1,000 last week. I was like, we could make the goal $1,000, but you know what? I was like, let's make it 800 and see what we can do and see if we can break it, right? Because I know we can smash.
4th of July. Yeah. Who's gonna match reset? Or no, I'm sorry. Who's gonna match recruit A with that 150 though?
Yeah, exactly. Who's gonna match that 150? Who is gonna match that 150? Because that $800 goal ain't gonna make itself happen,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But yes, keep on donating, keep on paying reparations.
Send another 10 in reparations from Sarcophagus.
Hey, yes,
every bit helps. Yes, exactly.
Every bit helps. Yummy.
Dia Libertad.
Yeah, lay back. Keep on doing. Keep on pushing. We're gonna go into the next read that back just so we can make sure that we are pushing through this political education and letting you all know more about what was happening in the 1860s. I think this is super Trevor Island. Right?
That's a funny comment. White nationalists buying Chinese-made fireworks.
Oh yeah, and you know what? Something about fireworks, real quick. You see, like the technology around like gunpowder and fireworks only resulted in China creating these artistic displays. And what did the colonizer do? The colonizer used that technology to create guns to shoot and kill people. Like, come on, the colonizer has to come back to humanity. Come back to humanity. Look how you use the ideas and brilliance and resources to colonize people just to create the most violent things. Like what? Just only to create the most violent things. That just reminded me of that. Oh, 4th of July got me all kinds of messed up. All right, go ahead, Sergeant Bear, till you read that back.
We gotta pull this up 1 second. Let me see. All right. So, Little Horse, the Cheyenne, who a year earlier gave warning to the Arapahoes of General Connor's approach, had the honor of signaling his people, who were concealed in gullies on the west side. He raised his lance, and all the mounted Cheyennes and Arapaho charged with the sudden thunder of hooves. From the opposite side came the Sioux, and for a few minutes the Indians and the walking soldiers were mixed in confusion, hand-to-hand fighting. The infantrymen were soon all killed, but the cavalrymen retreated to a rocky height near the end of the ridge. They turned their horses loose and tried to take cover among the ice-crusted boulders. Little Horse made a name for himself that day, leaping over the rocks in and out of the gullies until he was within 40 feet of the besieged cavalrymen. White Bull of the Miniconjus also distinguished himself in the bloody fighting on the hillside, armed with only a bow and a lance. He charged a dismounted cavalryman who was firing at him with a carbine. In a pictograph that White Bull later drew of the event, he showed himself clad in a red war cape, firing an arrow into the soldier's heart and cracking him over the head with his lance to count first coup. Toward the end of the fighting, the Cheyenne and the Arapaho on one side and the Sioux on the other were so close together that they began hitting each other with their showers of arrows. Then it was all over. Not a soldier was left alive. A dog came out from the dead, and the Sioux started to catch it to take it home with him. But Big Rascal of the Cheyenne said, "Don't let the dog go," and somebody shot it with an arrow. This was the fight the white men called the Fetterman Massacre. The Indians called it the Battle of the 100 Slain. Yes. Ooh, I like this PE. This is, or not PE, but this read that back. It was a win. It's a win. And yeah, it just demonstrates, the Cheyenne, the Arapaho, and the Sioux, coming together and playing the white man, playing the colonizers. And yeah, just like some info regarding the situation. So they had about like 4 men, I believe, try to reel them out past the ridge and like on the other side, right? And like the colonizers, they were told not to go past the ridge. They were told don't go past it, But they're dumb. They did it anyways because they got played. They fell for the trap, right? And so they all were chasing, the four indigenous people on horses, right? And then after they passed like the ridge and like were in that space, like that's when they just got jumped by the Cheyenne, the Arapaho, and the Sioux. And that was just it was just brilliant. They just got played, the tactics, the organization, from what seeing before, and understanding that we need to fight and we need to come together and we need to fight so that they think that this is a massacre, right? So that they can recognize that as that. But in reality, it's just us fighting for our self-determination. It's us fighting for the land back. That's what it is. It's not, you see how they twist it to like make it seem as a massacre. And I know Chifoju, you see that as well. Exactly. Like they make it seem as if it's a massacre on them, right? Right, the changing the narrative, right? And then now later on to now we learn in history that these are massacres, and that's in the conscious of like society that these are massacres against like American civilians and things like that. But it's just nonsense, right? And we got to be careful for the words, that they're manufacturing this propaganda within us. And this isn't no massacre. This isn't no massacre. This is us fighting for our land. This is war. This is us fighting for our self-determination. But Chifoju, what do you think about this moment?
Let's go. Lay that out perfectly, Sergeant Bear. Like Sun Tzu says, deception is an important part of war. The fact that they tricked them into going past the ridge, right? And and got him. And that propaganda you talk about in terms of the colonizers calling what happened to them a massacre. Yeah, that's I think about Chicago, for instance, and I remember growing up seeing the Fort Dearborn massacre as something that was always highlighted, some statues and stuff like that here in Chicago about that. And I always thought, because I'm a colonized person, I always thought that was about the murder of indigenous people. I always thought that's what it was about, because I was like, what else would you remember and honor? That's, as a colonized person, that was my logic. But only when I was older that I realized that it's a commemoration of colonizers being killed by indigenous people, where in the location where Chicago is now. I'm like, so y'all are saying that, how sad y'all came to invade somewhere and then people fought back when you came in? What? So you're
exactly.
What? There's lots of makes no sense. It's like if taking something from someone and then honoring the fact that they got you because you were trying to steal from them. What? That makes no sense. It makes no sense. And you see how that propaganda is so strong that they'll take that resistance and call it a massacre. They'll call it a Memorial Day. They'll call it so many things in order to center the colonizer as the victim of resistance to the colonized people. And no, the true victim, the true survivor here is colonized people. And how dare the colonizer call what happened to them the Fetterman Massacre after what they did at Sand Creek? How dare they use the same language or put it on the same level? That's probably the most disgusting part of all of it, that they somehow equate themselves to colonize people in any way, and then in that way. How dare they? And we have to fight back against that. We have to fight against that. Because we have to fight this war of ideas that somehow the colonizer, no matter who they are, has to have this level of sympathy. Why do we have to have sympathy for our oppressor? Why do we have to have sympathy for our murderer? There's no rule that we have to. There's no rule that you have to be sympathetic to your murderer. There's no rule on that. So fight against that propaganda. Fight back against that war of ideas, that you have to somehow honor and respect the colonizer. There's no rule about it. Whew, land back. Yeah, this was a great read that back, Sergeant Bear, because it shows not only a win, but shows just how when the colonizer loses, how much they'll twist it to make themselves look like the victim. Yes, Africa. Yeah, sympathy for the devil. No sympathy for the devil. Yeah, no sympathy for the devil. Yeah, exactly, Africa. Yes, land back, and so keep again. We'll keep on going with these read that backs, but keep donating, y'all.
Yes, keep donating.
Yes. And paying reparations. We want to break that $800 goal. You could get, if you are able to give $5, $10, whatever you can today. All right, because this is the day that we want to make that happen. This is the day we want to show how colonized unity can break through their propaganda, can break through their lies, can break through all of their BS in order to achieve something. So let's show them what we can achieve. All right, y'all. Keep those donations and reparations coming in.
Yes, keep them coming.
Yeah, in the meantime, we will let's see. We could do one audience read that back. Let's see what we got up in the comments. Can we do let's see. Let's do Rohan's right here on page 71. So it's from a little bit earlier in the book, but we could still look at it. Black Kettle, who had been listening silently through the proceedings, immovable with a slight smile upon his face, according to Wynkoop, arose and said he was glad to hear tall Chief Wynkoop speak. There are bad white men and bad Indians, he said. The bad men on both sides brought about this trouble. Some of my young men joined in with them. I am opposed to fighting. I've done everything in my power to prevent it. I believe the blame rests with the rest of the white men. I don't even need the rest because I got the rest. Oh my God! Doesn't that sound like the president, y'all? Who don't you know? Those people up in your face. There's bad people on both sides. It's about what people do. There's only it's bad apples who spoil the bunch. All those. Oh my God! Look at that's from the 1800s, y'all. Which is not that long ago. That's from the 1800s. Y'all hearing the same thing in your family dinners today because colonialism still exists. You ain't gonna stop hearing that until colonialism ends, because people want to again have sympathy for the colonizer, has sympathy for the enemy. They're like, oh, not all of them are bad, or not all of them owe something, or not all of them. Once you start doing that, yeah, it sounds like Dementia Joe, right? Sounds like Trump. So all of them. It's the same narrative that. To convince us that the colonizer has some kind of salvation, that we can afford it so that we don't fight back against it. It's just a form of pacifying us yet again. Shukshi gave $10. Thank you, Shukshi. And yes, yeah, right? Isn't that right, Sergeant Bear? Isn't that right?
Exactly. And it's also like when people like follow that like narrative, they don't see like us or you as like a colonized person. They just kind of like see you as an individual, and like they don't see like the history behind and the trauma and like everything, right? Not only just as a colonized person, but like what colonizers have as well, and that they don't like recognize it, or like the whole everything that encompasses being oppressed and being a colonizer, being colonized, and so on. And like when you take that into account, it's like no, like you can't, or it wouldn't naturally follow like you reckon, oh, like there's good and bad on no, you're just colonized and you're a colonizer, and you follow the behavior and the trauma from either, or not either, but like as being a colonized person. And like when you take that into account, like you can't like the things that manifest the issues, right, are from just being a colonized person and being displaced, coming from cultures that are purposely genocided and wiped out wherever you are, like but yeah, I don't know if like you could expand on that, but do you see what I'm saying, Chief?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I completely see what you're saying. Because because in the end it's only going to be it's only going to be decided by us in the end of what happens to this land, because it's that that the colonizer is always going to be that person who is just going to keep making us unsure and uneasy, and like that wishy-washiness is not going to lead us anywhere, right? I see $15 reparations from Zinc. All right. So we are going to we have to keep on moving it. We're gonna go to our last read that back, y'all. And we could go and see one more time another win, because we of course we understand like the violence, we understand all the things that happen. But let's see again some more colonized brilliance. So this is on page 119 or 118 119 of the PDF, and if you have the physical book, it's on page 142. So this begins. All through that day's first meeting, the other chiefs echoed Spotted Tail's words. Although few of these Indians considered the Powder River country as their home, they preferred the plains of Nebraska and Kansas. All supported Red Cloud's determination to keep that last great hunting ground inviolate. These roads scared all our game away, said one. I want you to stop the Powder River Road. Let our game alone, said another. Don't disturb it, and then you will have life. Who is our great father? Pawnee Killer asked with genuine wonderment. What is he? Is it true that he sent you here to settle our troubles? The cause of our troubles is the Powder River Road. If the great father stops the Powder River Road, I know that your people can travel on this iron road without being molested and bothered. On the following day, the great warrior Sherman addressed the chiefs, blandly assuring them that he had thought of their words all night and was ready to give a reply. The Powder River Road was built to furnish our men with provisions, he said. The great father thought that you consented to give permission for that road at Laramie last spring, but it seems that some of the Indians were not there and have gone to war. Subdued laughter from the chiefs may have surprised Sherman, but he went on, his voice taking a harsher tone. While the Indians continue to make war upon the road, it will not be given up. But if, on examination at Laramie in November, we find that the road hurts you, we will give it up or pay for it. If you have any claims, present them to us at Laramie. Sherman launched into a discussion of the Indians' need for land of their own, advised them to give up their dependence on wild game, and then he dropped the thunderbolt. We therefore propose to let the whole Sioux nation select their country up the Missouri River, embracing the White Earth and Cheyenne rivers to have their lands like the white people forever, and we propose to keep all white men away except such agents and traders as you may choose. As these words were translated, the Indians expressed surprise, murmuring among themselves. So this is what the new commissioners wanted them to do? Pack up and move far away to the Missouri River? For years, the Teton Sioux had been following wild game westward from there. Why should they go back to the Missouri to starve? Why could they not live in peace where game could still be found? Had the greedy eyes of the white men already chosen these bountiful lands for their own? Land back. We're reading from Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, so we're reading directly from the book, just for to answer a couple questions in the Facebook comments. So, yes, so the indigenous people here have been meeting, right, with this great warrior Sherman. This great warrior Sherman was a colonizer. Like that's what they were. They just ended up with that name, and they were trying to say, we're building this road along the Powder River, and you should be moving toward the Missouri so we can continue building this road. But the indigenous people here were like, no, our game and our livelihood is over here where you're building this road. We follow the game, we follow the life westward along with as they move, and you building this road is going to block us from having access to control over our life, to dictatorship over our life, land, labor, and resources. And what they says, no, actually, we saw Great Warrior Sherman try to use religion, like their own religion, to and their own spiritual beliefs to convince them, like, oh, I thought your great father said that you agreed to this back at Laramie. My bad. And that's why they were laughing a little bit, like, what's this BS that he's talking about? But in the end, the colonizer was having the power there, right? And said, yeah, go and move up to the Missouri. And then the indigenous people are like, no, like we can't, because that is our livelihood. That's our material reality. Our material reality means we have to move with the animals. We have to move with the game. And this read it back shows just again how colonization and colonialism is all about the land. It's all about our material reality. It wasn't about, oh, this land feels better for us, or this land just has a significance to us. It's not just like, oh, my ancestors are buried here. No, the way that we move on our own land is to ensure that we can materially survive throughout generations. Mm-hmm. You know, we're living beings. We're living beings. We don't interact with the land just for fun. We interact with the land to survive and to live.
Exactly.
And that's what is like really important. And as read that back, I feel like that our people realize that, and we laugh when they try to convince us otherwise, and we should all laugh when they try to convince us otherwise, that we're doing this fight and we're fighting back for anything but our land. Mm-hmm. We should laugh in their faces when they think we're fighting for anything else. Exactly. It's like, no, we're fighting for our material reality. We're fighting for our land and our resources. What about it?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, they're fighting for expansion and just greed and just to take and to take and to take and to get gold that they found in the mountains and so on, and to just like get these trade trade routes and set up so that they can pass on more. And like there was another thing where it was talking about how like, oh, they're just going to travel through for a little bit, and they're not going to they're not going to settle or anything. But then it talked about how like, oh, they brought their families and their kids and all that, and it's very clear that they want to take it and chop down the trees and to use the resources, not to live with the land and to have that relationship with it, right? But to take it and to build up their power to conquer and continue colonization, right? And to exploit, not only the land but colonized people. But yeah.
It's they know it's about the land, or else they wouldn't be building the road, right? They even said, like Sherman said, we're building this road because it provides our people with provisions. So they know it's about the land. They know it's about their own survival. They know it's about the food, all this stuff. So why should we act like it's not about the land ourselves? If they know it is, we have to be just as aware and just as blunt, because that's all we're fighting for. We're fighting for our land and resources. We want our land back, and that's why that is our rallying call and rallying cry of Black Hammer. We want our land back because it's the land that provides the resources that allow us to live lives that we can have control over. So we can try to be ourselves. That's why people feel like they have enough when they say, oh, I can be my own self. I could claim my sexuality. I could claim my gender. I could claim my culture. All this stuff. But it's hard to claim that without any. You can't claim that if you ain't alive. You can't claim that if you're hungry. You can't claim that if you got no land under you, right?
Exactly, and that's again. This is why like Hammer City is important, right? This is why that we gotta get these donations and we gotta continue collecting, and not only just like money, but just like getting people together and to fall under colonized leadership. And to keep supporting not only, and this is Hammer City just one thing, right? And it's really like it's so powerful, just like falling under other colonized or just colonized leadership and like developing yourself and having like just learning and like faith in your own like leadership. Like it's so powerful to see like other colonized people like, oh, I matter. I can actually like do something. I can develop, right? And I'm like worth it. It's something very, very powerful.
Yes.
But yeah.
That's what got me when I realized, wait, I can do something about it. I don't have to just have to like kind of hang around and like help here and there. Wait, I can lead and do something about it. Yeah, that realization means everything to colonized people, to indigenous people, and all indigenous people around the world will be united. All from the indigenous people in the people indigenous to Africa, the people indigenous to Australia, the people indigenous to Asia, all indigenous people in Pachamama,
exactly.
the island, we will all be united. We will all be united, and we will win. Only united. That's the only way we'll win. Is with that unity. Yes, Chief Yabe. Yes. All right. So let's. Well, yeah, let's get into our announcements. We got people got outreach. It's still 4th of July, but guess what? Our people still out there making and serving our people. Look at what Black Hammer does. Who else is doing this? Look at Black Hammer. Look at us. Look at these leaders. Look at these leaders. Yes. Sorry, I just reflect on y'all, everybody, and like y'all are amazing. Y'all are my revolutionary. So keep on donating.
Yes, keep donating.
Let's see how far away we are. We are. Let's see. Let me add this extra reparations we just got. We have, what's 769 plus 35? 794. Is it 794? Are we $6 away from $800? I think we're $6 away from $800, y'all. Who gonna do it? How many people can give $6 right now? How many people can give $6 this instance? We got 804. Oh, you know what? Everyone give $4. Give $4 for the land of the
yes.
If you ain't donated yet, $4 for 4th of July. Put that in the comments. But go ahead, Sergeant Bear.
4 for 4.
Yeah, 4 for
July. So our Tuesday rally and our theme is gonna be Land Back. All right, y'all. Come us July 6th, 7 p.m. EST. Come through 4 for 4. For the 4th of July. Or I'm reading that. But yeah, y'all, come on now. Come through to our rally. Theme is Land Back. Yes.
Yeah, we're bringing it back to the roots, y'all. The theme is
land. Swear.
Reminding us about who we are. All right, and then our next announcement is we are going to have hard targets again every Friday. It's with BHT Baddies, the Black Hammer Times. Next episode is July 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Get in there, get to that anti-colonial news, see what's going on here in the United States, around the world, in an anti-colonial lens. So, yeah.
Yes, and then we got White Power Kill DMX song release July 8th at 3:30 EST. This is gonna be hella exciting, y'all. It's gonna be our song release. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for y'all to hear it. But yes,
yeah, it's dope, y'all. It's dope. Black Hammer literally does everything.
Facts, though, yeah. We got everything.
And then we have the premiere of our new sci-tech show, Critical Mass, with Chief Sut and Chief Felix. Also this Thursday, July 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, we have a sci-tech show now, y'all. Get into the premiere. It's going to be on YouTube. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for this. I don't even know. We could have our own, like colonized scientists, like breaking it down. Yeah. Like we too lucky. We too lucky to have this. All right. And then
Reparations Corps, political education boot camp for colonizers every Wednesday at 2 p.m. at blackhammer.org/reparations. Y'all can come on, fall under colonized leadership, pay up, donate these not donate, reparate, give these reparations up. But yes, every Wednesday.
And then save the date. Forging the Hammer. The next Forging the Hammer again happens the last Sunday of every month. So you can mark your calendars from now until forever. But yeah, save the date. The next Forging the Hammer is Sunday, July 25th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Mark it down so that you don't forget. Make sure that you're not, scheduling other things. And join Curriculum. Curriculum department is the department who puts on the Revolutionary Book Chap, who does a lot of the political education for the organization. If you are a teacher, parent, youth worker, a family member, someone who just wants to see the political development of your family, of your children, join us and help us build the Freedom School, help us build our political education network, help us pull up our comrades through education, and email bhcurriculum@protonmail.com. All right, and I believe that's it. All right. Well, again, remember, y'all, it's the 4th of July. You need to go out there, do your outreach.
Remember the read the backs that we did. Remember, have that in your mind. When you're at outreach or And whatever, if you're someone watching this, just have that in your mind. Recognize that, as you hear the fireworks and so on, see the barbecues and all that. But yeah, just keep that in mind.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, and the next chapters we're going to be reading are going to be chapters 7 through 9. And we're going to continue reading this. This series might go for more than 4 episodes, might go for 5. It's a little bit of a longer book. So, we want to make sure we're not bearing you all in hundreds of pages. So, yes, chapters 7 through 9. You can get the book in our library at blackhammer.org/library. And we have the book and the audiobook. So if you're not like really good at sitting down and reading words, you can listen to it. Because we know people learn in lots of different ways. And we're about that accessibility here at Black Hammer. So land back, read 7 through 9, y'all. And we will see you next week with those read that back.
Yes. Make sure y'all are reading.
Yes,
land
read.
Back.